Hello, everybody. Good morning to the T Tribe. What's up, you guys? We are getting some celebrity news today. It is Wesley Wednesday, or Wesley Says Wednesday, so make sure you say
what Wesley said Wednesday.
What Wesley says say Wednesday. I messed that up, but make sure you type that in the chat, you guys. We have a full docket to get into today. Lots of celebrities were being active on social media yesterday, showing their support for the Black Lives Matter movement and for George Floyd. So we're going to be getting into all of that. But first, make sure you subscribe to Hollyscoop, tap the bell for notifications, hit that thumbs up, share this video with your friends, and leave a comment below. I'm Devyn Howard. You can find me on Instagram as @Devyn Howard. Courtney?
And I am Courtney Revolution, and you can find me on social media as well as my own individual YouTube channel @Courtney Revolution.
Yes, go check out his YouTube channel, you guys. He has the best videos. You are so fun to watch on YouTube. So check that out if you haven't already, although I'm sure the T Tribe is already on board, subscribe. They've got the notification bell rung for Courtney Revolution. Okay, you guys. So what we're going to be talking about today, we're getting into an update from Selena Gomez. We're talking about Halsey and how she called out some of her fans. We're getting into a Rihanna clapback that I am here for, as well as Demi Lovato's message to Donald Trump. Logan Paul, he actually did something that's kind of good, like for once. So I kind of can't wait to tell you guys about that. Also, a Riverdale star dragged the show for not representing Black people enough or giving them enough dimension as characters, which I'm also here for. More updates on Lea Michele. She apologized, although I have some issues with her apology. And then finally, an update about Bhad Bhabie. Of course, we're getting into Card Jenner tea time, talking about Kim and Kanye and Kylie Jenner and how much money she spent on jets and houses. Woo, it's a lot to get into today, so we're going to be filling you in on everything. But Courtney, how are you doing this morning?
Devyn, I am chugging along. It's Wednesday. We're like halfway through the week, so I'm just trying to make it on down to Friday so that I can enjoy the weekend. How are you, darling? The darling Devyn Howard. How are you, darling? What'd you have for dinner last night, Devyn?
Okay. You know what? I made a very, very delicious salad last night with I'm actually so glad you asked, Courtney, because I'm very proud of this recipe. I've been wanting to make for a while. It was a seared scallion vinaigrette on top of, I think it was butter lettuce that I put on it, and with corn and tomatoes and avocado. It was so good. So maybe someday I can share the recipe with you guys. My friend Sam actually sent it to me, but it was very delicious. What did you have for dinner last night?
I'm like now sitting here trying to think, what did I have for dinner? Honestly, Devyn, I think, girl, I popped the frozen pizza in the oven, girl, and called it a night, girl. You was having the good, delicious homemade salad moment, girl. I said, girl, Trader Joe's, get to work. And put that little pizza right on the oven, and she was nice and tasty, girl. The sauce from Miss TJ, very delicious and savory. I love her.
Okay, well, I'm actually kind of jealous of that because I tried to go to Trader Joe's earlier this week, but there was a 1 p.m. curfew that was put in place in Santa Monica to prevent protests from happening, and the Trader Joe's was closed. I went at 3 p.m. and everybody was like, it's closed, you can't go. So I wasn't able to get
They were like, girl, hurry home, but a po-po get you, girl, before they snatch you up. Devyn, I don't know what I would do if I opened up my Twitter timeline and it was like, local Santa Monica woman dragged out of her car and arrested for breaking the curfew that we found out about 30 minutes ago. Please stay safe, girl. I'm going to have to start sending you the Twitter alerts, girl. Devyn, are you in the house, girl? Santa Monica, they're shutting it down, girl. I'm going to have to make sure, Devyn, because it really don't matter. I done seen Black, white, Trader Joe's fans. Everyone is getting dragged out the cars for beeping around the corner, even in residential areas. So please be careful, girl. You know I don't leave the house.
I didn't even realize that there was that curfew because, yeah, like you said, they're giving us very little notice, and it's kind of problematic. But I do want to mention that in Venice yesterday, which is just right next to Santa Monica, there was a very beautiful and peaceful protest, people standing in solidarity with one another. So I was really happy to see that. I unfortunately found out about it too late. I didn't even know it was going on, or else I would have loved to have shown up and shown support. But yeah, there's still a lot of things happening over here. Things are kind of crazy. Courtney, I want to hear your thoughts overall. What did you think about Blackout Tuesday? How did that go? I know we talked about it a lot on the morning tea yesterday. And, you know, I learned a lot of new information, and I learned about a lot of new, like, Black creators that I hadn't necessarily heard of before. So I felt like it was beneficial. But what was your takeaway?
I felt like it was kind of like split, Devin. I feel like right in the midst of everyone participating, then there was like the message, the valid message, like, hey, don't do this because it's clogging up the feed. Whereas I looked at it as I used my black square to refer everyone that eventually was going to pass by my picture to go to my Instagram story, because I had swipe ups there and information, and also, you know, just other things that will remind you that today and the movement going forward are both so incredibly important. So I feel like it all depends on what you did with your Blackout Tuesday in terms of value. Because some people just put up the black square. Girl, don't get me started on some of the girls. They just threw up their little black square after being silent all week since George Floyd's untimely murder by the police. And then all of a sudden they threw up a little black square, and then they were like, well, there's my activism. And I feel like that's just not enough. It's not enough for you to just throw up a little black square and say, you know, I have a black friend. It's not enough. We're past that point. We're not in the 5th grade anymore. We have resources. We're adults. We can make phone calls. You can swipe up, Devin. There was like a swipe up, girl. All you had to do was put in your name and your city, and it like sends an email off. You get what I'm saying? Like, I feel like, sure, it's great to raise awareness, but if you can do more, please do more.
I think that's so important. I do know what you mean about it being kind of split half and half. There were the people who misunderstood the message behind Blackout Tuesday, and they were using it as an opportunity to stay silent, which is the opposite of what's needed right now. So I think that for the people who did kind of understand the purpose behind it and who were sharing links like you were, and I tried to share links. I wanted to share that email one, but I couldn't get the link to work when I was doing the swipe up. So unfortunately, I couldn't share that one, but I did sign it. I think that it was really valuable. But there is that problem of performative activism with this kind of thing, where it's like you throw up the black square and, you know, you're like, all right, did my good deed for the day. But really, what did that change? It had to be in conjunction with an actionable step, like signing a petition, donating, protesting. Oh, there was that really cool YouTube video that came out that where you watched it, and then all of the money that came from the views was being out among these organizations. Such an awesome way to help out if you are, you know, say 13 years old and you don't have a job yet, or if you lost your job due to the pandemic, or if you're raising an entire family and don't have the extra money to spare. That is a huge way to still financially support these organizations that are doing so much good for the movement without actually taking out of your own bank account, which I think was a really, really creative and cool idea. I shared that on my story because that's like such an awesome, I know that a lot of people, they feel like, you know, gosh, I don't really have money to spare right now. I'm living on unemployment or whatever. You don't necessarily have to have the money. You can watch a video and it's still going to do something. So I just wanted to mention,
put it on in the background, girl. Turn the volume down low if you don't want to sit and actually watch the full, I think it was almost like an hour, Devin, video. You can just have it playing in the background while you wash dishes, while you fold laundry. You can do other things and still play your part. You get what I'm saying?
For sure. Absolutely. So I really, really liked that people came up with that idea. I also, this isn't about celebrity news or anything, but I also just wanted to share, I'm sure you all have seen on social media that the mother of George Floyd's child, I believe her name is Roxy, she gave a really, really sad and moving speech about George, and said, you know, that she's so devastated that he's not going to be able to walk his daughter down the aisle, not going to be able to see her graduate. And then there was that really, really sweet video of his daughter saying, "Daddy changed the world." And, you know, it's terrible that a tragedy, such a traumatic incident has to be the thing that sparks the change. But I think it's I think it's kind of touching that she's taking a positive away from it, and that, you know, this incident is kind of the wake-up call that I think a lot of people really needed.
Devyn, can I say something that may be problematic and rattle the girls? I feel it in my spirit that I need to say this.
Let it
For
out.
everyone, for every single person that has a police officer in their family that does good, because I know they're, Black Lives Matter, and then immediately it's like, well, my uncle and my father and I know a good policeman, and no one is saying that they're not good. Just keep in mind that when you automatically respond with an all lives matter statement, having a police officer in your family or you know one, at the end of the day, you can still go and hug your father, uncle, person in your life, aunt, mother, what have you. You can still make that phone call. You can still send that text message. You can still send those invites to the wedding. You get what I'm saying? George Floyd's daughter lost that opportunity. So before you go and you try to culturally smudge out the Black Lives Matter movement, just keep that thought in the front of your brain. Thank you.
That gave me chills. I seriously have chills all over my body because it's so true. And gosh, that makes me kind of emotional to think about. It makes me sad.
It's the truth. A lot of people be forgetting. They forget what this is about. What was the straw that broke the camel's back? At the end of the day, that little girl does not have her father anymore, and everyone else is, but the police. You can still go home and you can still hug your father and say, are you okay? The protests were, I'm seeing on the news, they were wild. Are you okay? That little girl doesn't get to ask her father how his day was, and will you be in my wedding, and will you help me pick out my prom dress and all. He doesn't get to participate. So just understand that and always remember that. It's important.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't think anybody also is saying that every policeman is bad. That's not the message here. It's about taking a moment to step back and honor the Black Lives Movement and the people who have been failed by the justice system over and over again. So I think that's important. Thank you, Courtney. I don't feel that that's problematic. Okay, so let's, you guys, let's talk about Selena Gomez, our girl Selena. She participated in Blackout Tuesday. Yes, I forgot about the tea again.
You find it.
I always have my coffee pre-poured. It's another mug today. I might have used this one already. Another mug with more drips on it. I did not wake up like this. Again, I have used this cup. These cups are so dumb, you guys. I get them at Marshall's. I just like how big they are.
Listen, Marshalls and TJ Maxx, those be where you get the good finds, Devyn. Don't sleep on it. You got a good find.
Oh, I love Marshalls. I'm a big home goods gal. And yeah, I like a mug that holds a lot of coffee so that I can get fully caffeinated. Anyway, cheers, Courtney.
Cheers. Tasty.
Oh, yes, she's good. Okay. Selena Gomez. She participated in Blackout Tuesday, you guys, and she shut down her website and had a meaningful message on it. So she shared this message on her site that reads, "It's my hope today you are taking the time to do some introspective thinking about how we can all come together and listen to one another with an open heart and mind. The country is long overdue for meaningful changes to our broken society. Black Lives Matter." She also included accounts that she deemed were worthy of a follow, including Black Lives Matter, Color of Change, When We All Vote, and the NAACP. And then also her Rare Beauty company joined in on Blackout Tuesday with its own statement, writing, "We are going dark to take part in Blackout Tuesday. It's our hope that we can all take time to do some introspective thinking about how we can all come together and listen to one another with an open heart. We're also thinking about how we can take action against systemic racism and make change. The country is long overdue for meaningful changes to our broken society." So, oh wait, I guess that was the same message or something similar. Maybe it was the same message. I didn't even realize that when I was writing these notes. I was just like, yes, Selena. But I'm so happy that she did participate in this. I think we wouldn't have expected anything less from her. I'm sure she's donated money, and just because it hasn't been blasted on social media doesn't mean that it hasn't happened. But yeah, I think that's really awesome that she participated. What did you think of the message on her website and Instagram?
I thought that the message was appropriate, and I'm glad, especially that Selena Gomez said something, because she had said something problematic, and y'all know I love Selena Gomez, but she had said something problematic in the past in terms of Black Lives Matter. And I feel like the girls have been dragging her since then. So I'm glad that, if anything, she can stand up and also use her brand to stand up and raise awareness as well. I want to ask you, Devyn, how do you feel about brands and also celebrities that post on Instagram and we have the idea that they have donated privately? Do you feel like perhaps this might be an issue where it would help to publicly be like, I donated X amount of money? Like, just for example, I can easily, and y'all know I'm just in general not a stan of The Weeknd, but I can immediately recall off the top of my head seeing the headlines being like, The Weeknd donated $500,000. Here's another way that you can help. I personally feel like people should be like, I donated X amount of money, celebrities, because I feel like that's just kind of like an extra step, and it raises awareness, because then it brings the question of, oh, well, where did she donate? I wonder, why did she donate to this fund? I want to look at more information. Maybe, perhaps. What do you think?
So I've gone back and forth about this. I think that there is value in sharing what you've donated and to which organization, but I also think that sometimes it can come off as like, I deserve a pat on the back. But I see what you're saying about how it can raise awareness and encourage the people who follow these brands and these celebrities to do the same thing. I don't know. I guess I'm kind of like I guess I'm sort of indifferent about it. I think that The Weeknd's donation was hugely generous, and I'm so glad that he shared that he did that. But I know there are some people that were like, you don't have to brag about it or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, what do you want? Do you want a trophy? Here you go. I could see people thinking that. I personally don't feel that way, and I think that celebrities especially would be spared a lot of criticism if they did come forward and say that they donated. I don't know. It's difficult. Actually,
it's like a double-edged sword, right?
Yeah, it is a double-edged sword. There's really no right answer here, but I have an Instagram account that I don't use, and somebody actually messaged one of my best friends and was like, why is your friend Devyn not speaking up? And I was like, well, I have been. I've been I donated, I've posted, I've signed the petitions, and I was kind of frustrated by that, because it's like, I don't even use this Instagram account anymore. That's why there's nothing on there, because I haven't even thought about it, and I've been blowing the account that I do use. But then it made me think, like, gosh, should I be sharing that, I donated to this organization, or that I signed this petition, or am I able to do in private, and then also share links and resources and information on my stories, as opposed to like sharing what I've donated or signed? And so I don't really know. I don't know what the right answer is here, but I think it would help. Like, it would help Selena if she said, I donated $100,000 to Black Lives Matter. I feel like it would inspire her fans to do the same, and I feel like she'd get well-deserved recognition.
T-Tribe, what do y'all think? I really wonder how y'all feel about this. Like, do y'all want to see if Kylie comes out and says, I donated this? Do y'all want to see if Selena comes out and is like, girl, here's the coin I dropped? What do y'all think? I'm just curious, because I feel like in other situations in the past, I might have been like, well, y'all don't need to know what's going on in her wallet. But I feel like this particular situation, you have to make your voice be as loud as possible. And I feel like maybe when you're smaller, you're allowed to get away with being uncomfortable and posting like a little Instagram thing. But I feel like when you have a platform, it becomes more of like your job responsibility. Like, you've been blessed with a platform, you need to use it for good if you have an audience that will mobilize for a good stance, girl.
Yeah. Oh, but then also, this is kind of outside of the realm of what we typically talk about, but did you hear how Virgil Abloh, who works for, I think it's Louis Vuitton, and has his
$50, girl.
What was that?
$50, girl. He's canceled.
Yeah, he donated $50 and received a ton of backlash for that because, for somebody that's achieved his level of success, $50 is nothing. So
I wasn't a fan of that because Devyn, all them little stupid off-white little belts that's making y'all look like y'all on airplanes. I had to sit up there and walk up and down my neighborhood for like 2 years straight seeing them ugly little belts. And you mean to tell me the person that created them belts is black and can't even donate really that much to his own cause? Girl, that's a conversation for a whole nother day, girl. I ain't even gonna tell you what that segment will be called because I might not have no job. But black people, you know what we would call that kind of person. I was not a fan.
All right, let's get into this next update about somebody who really has done a lot for the protests and for spreading the message, Halsey. So she's been a huge advocate for the Black Lives Matter movement, and she's been at so many of the marches. And now she's actually calling out the fans who've been asking for selfies while she's out there doing her thing, spreading the message and advocating for change. She posted a tweet that simply says, "Don't even ask me, I won't say yes." That's not what this is about. So I want to shout out Halsey for a minute. She's really been putting herself on the front lines. She's been bandaging up people who were hit with rubber bullets. She's been marching. She's been sharing information online. She has been such a loud voice in this, and I think that she's done so much to spread awareness, and I feel like it is kind of shocking that people were seeing her in the crowds and asking for selfies. Like, come on. That's so
I can
weird,
imagine
right?
the same thing happened when Harry Styles was out there because Harry was out there as well. And I'm sure people were asking Harry for selfies. And, Devyn, I got to be honest, there were some people that I'm following on Twitter that they've been silent during this whole ordeal. But the second Harry pop out in his little bandana and his little updo, all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, Harry Styles is at the protest and now I care. And it's like, wow, did you not care before? Shout out to Halsey for taking this so seriously, Devyn. I think Halsey was hit by a rubber bullet or something. I think I read somewhere over the past day or so. She's really out there on the front lines. It's almost kind of like people that we didn't really expect to be on the front lines are out there, and the people that are the most vocal are church mice. And what you do in the dark comes to light. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. When I saw that picture of Harry Styles out at the protests yesterday, I thought to myself, would I have recognized him if I was out in the street? And I don't think I even would have known that that was him, which is weird because he is a recognizable face, but he was pretty covered up. So it's possible people were not asking him for selfies, but then again, the One Directioners can be, I'm sure they recognized him just based on like a single eyelash. So I don't really know.
Not an eyelash. Eyelash scanner. This DNA matches Harry Styles. What a beautiful specimen.
Oh, gosh. Okay, so let's get into this news about Rihanna. Okay, so Rihanna took to her Instagram to clap back at somebody who told her voting doesn't matter. So the singer posted an Instagram and reminded her audience to vote. She said, "You ain't got ish else to do, man. Get your ass off the couch and go vote. I don't want to hear another excuse. Stop believing that your vote and voice don't matter. This is the illest way to protest. Vote for the changes that you want." And then someone commented saying, "Voting ain't gonna change ish." And then she wrote back, "I'm sick of hearing this. You know what's not going to change ish? Not doing ish." So that's such a valuable and smart statement to make, because people will say, "Oh, the voting system is corrupt. Our votes really don't matter." Okay, well, what's going to change then? You're just going to sit on your couch and criticize everybody who's doing something? That's not going to change anything. You might as well do whatever you can. I'm frustrated.
I'm glad that she spoke out. I wish that Rihanna would say, "If you don't vote, no album." And watch how fast everybody run and start voting, Devyn. Watch how fast the videos go up. Oh my God, we need to support a presidential candidate and we're not getting Rihanna's new album. Rihanna, you might want to consider holding that album until after the election is over. You might want to consider that.
Yeah. That album holds a lot of weight with the Bad Gal Riri fans, so definitely not a bad idea to consider. Now let's
Rihanna can say, "We'll see you on December 8th. Let's find out what these polls is looking like. December 8th, girl." Ooh, I wish Rihanna would say that. Ooh, I'm so petty. Ooh, I'm glad I don't work for Rihanna's team because y'all wouldn't be getting no album till December, girl. I promise y'all that. Whew.
See, I wish you did work for Rihanna's team. I am willing to wait if it means people are going to actually go out and vote and do the right thing. So please, Rihanna's team, hire Courtney, please. Let's talk about Demi Lovato, who actually posted a plea for our current president. She's using her platform to encourage Donald Trump to stand up and be a leader during this tumultuous time. He's really honestly refused to acknowledge the Black Lives Matter movement. He's tear gassed peaceful protesters, and he's all around not doing much to create a time of peace. So she took to her Instagram to write, "Donald Trump, be the leader we need you to be. I'm actually begging you because we're stuck with you until November, and then you'll have to pay for your silence, lack of leadership, and action." So I'm glad Demi spoke up. I like that she had a message directly to Donald Trump. A lot of people are posting messages for the masses, but I think it's cool that she's posted a message right to the guy at top and said, please do something. We're begging you. Like this, we don't want you to just stand by and be this passive person with the lights all turned off in the White House. We want you to show support, but I don't have a lot of faith that he's going to, if I'm being totally honest.
Demi, it's too late. Girl, I wish that Demi would have had such a statement that was like Taylor's. And I know that people are feeling some type of way towards Taylor. We don't even need to talk about that, girl. But Taylor said, girl, we're voting you out in November. And I wish that Demi would have said the same thing. The reason why I wish that Demi would have said that specifically, Devyn, is because Demi is so... she's so gung-ho when she want to say something. She don't care how it sound. It don't have no filter. She just be like, well, I said it. I didn't do nothing to this person, but here it is, and I'm speaking out. And I wish that she would have been like, Donald Trump, you and your dusty toupee, girl, we are getting you out in November. Like, I wish she would have said something along the lines of something that Taylor Swift had said. Instead of begging, girl, we're beyond that, girl. We need to now organize and strategize on what we gonna do next this fall. So I wish that she would have been on that track, to be honest. But shout out to her for saying something.
Something's better than nothing, that's for sure. But yeah, Taylor Swift, for me, out of these two, still takes the cake for having the best response. If you guys didn't catch the Hollyscoop video I did about that, we posted it at the end of last week. So check it out if you want. I think Taylor did a great thing when she tweeted that. Now let's talk about Logan Paul, because for once this guy actually did something good, which is shocking. So he gave a very passionate speech on his Impulsive podcast about racism and social justice. He said, quote, "It is not enough to be not racist. You have to be anti-racist. Condemn those who feign superiority because of the color of their skin. I can count on 0 hands the amount of times that I have feared for my life at a routine traffic stop. That has never happened." He used that as an example to show his white privilege and how we have to change the way that the Black community is treated by the police and even just by society in general. He's also marched in multiple protests in LA this week. And, for once, I applaud Logan Paul. I think that his message was important, especially considering he has such a huge audience and they're made up of young people. I don't know. For me, I don't feel like he's jumping on the bandwagon to be like, hey, look at me, I'm being supportive. I think he actually feels this way. But Courtney, do you disagree with me?
I want to go ahead and say something that I didn't know that I recently found out about Logan Paul was that he was intelligent. He was incredibly intelligent in the book smart way. So like he was going to go and be an engineer and he had like perfect grades and he just decided that he was going to move to LA and be an actor. Now, I feel like Logan Paul is someone that just purposely makes awful decisions to troll and to get our attention, which is why I felt as though the Suicide Forest thing was intentional and premeditated and all of those things. This statement was excellent and iconic, phenomenal, and outstanding. However, Devyn, when the smoke clears, are we going to go back to another Suicide Forest moment? Also, taking the left hand and now looking at the right, what about the brother? Logan Paul does something good for the Black Lives Matters movement, and your brother is an idiot, looting P.F. Chang's and drinking vodka. So
I do want to add also, he spoke out about what Jake Paul did. He said, my brother should not have been there. He didn't loot or vandalize, but you're right, he shouldn't have been there. So I also was glad that he spoke out about that. I don't think that this means Logan Paul has turned over a new leaf and he's going to be a better person who does good. I think that we can expect more headline grabbing stories, more intentionally off-putting stunts, things like that coming from him in the future. But in this moment right now, I think that he's said and done something positive, and more than a lot of celebrities, you know. So I think that I just want to give him that this time, but I'm waiting for the next time he does something like wild and ridiculous because it's gonna happen.
I feel like it's coming, like the next dumb boxing match, whatever's going on.
Yeah. Okay, so now let's move on into Vanessa Morgan. This story, I'm like, yes, I support it 100%. So she plays Tony Topaz on Riverdale, and she's opening up about the disappointment that she feels in Riverdale for the way they use and portray people of color. So she tweeted, tired of how Black people are portrayed in media, tired of being portrayed as thugs, dangerous, or angry, scary people, tired of us also being used as a sidekick, non-dimensional characters to our white leads, or only used in ads for diversity, but not actually in the show. She also said that she's, quote, the only Black series regular, but also paid the least, and complained about being used as the token biracial, bisexual. Her co-star Asha also criticized the show for using the Pussycats, which is the band that they were all in on the show, if you haven't watched it, as a way to add, to simply add background sass to a storyline. And then she finished her tweet writing, I stand with you. I also want to mention that Vanessa did say her white co-stars on the show it's not their fault. They're not involved in like the casting process or the writing process. And she says, please don't come at them with anything negative. And a lot of them were tweeting back at her saying, we support you, like we stand with you. This is huge. I mean, this is a show that she's currently on, that she's currently being paid by, and she's dragging them for not doing the right thing and not portraying Black people in the most positive light or in the most, characters with the most depth. You know what I mean? So I thought it was really interesting, and she calls attention to an issue that we've seen in media for so long. I mean, since entertainment was created, there hasn't been enough representation for people of color in writing positions, directing positions, acting roles, and she's absolutely right. What's your takeaway from what Vanessa said?
I'll say this, Devyn. As someone who knows what it's like to be a prop, I think it is very important for Vanessa to raise and bring up this conversation, because I think that there was a level of comfortability, like, let me not say anything for fear of losing an opportunity, for losing Riverdale. But it almost comes to a point where it's like, enough is enough. Like, I think that when with the notion of, okay, now we have a Black person, so that we're diverse now. You may not realize it, but Black people certainly realize, okay, I realize I was just hired for this because I'm Black, or I was just hired for this because I was gay, or I was just hired because of this, because I'm a boy that wears makeup. Like, we know when we're being treated as a prop or like a side character, or one-dimensional was the phrase that she used. Hopefully Riverdale can make the change and make her character into someone that people will want to tune into. Because let me tell you something, Devyn. Once people get tired of whatever the main storyline on Riverdale is, they're going to try that. They're going to try to pull whatever Vanessa's character is into the forefront, and by that point, it will be too late. You get what I'm saying? This change needs to happen now, and it needs to happen fast. I just want to say to Vanessa, I relate and I feel you, and to every Black person that has been a prop, trust and believe. I see you, and you just have to wait for your time. That's what I'll say.
Yeah. That was really great, Courtney. And yeah, I feel the same way. I'm so glad that she drew attention to this issue. It is very prevalent in entertainment. I studied film in college, and we did a whole class on like diversity within the industry. And it's just there's a huge lack of representation for people of color in all types of positions, not even just on camera roles, in everything, and they're paid less, they don't get the same opportunities. It's what we see, across I think every industry in our country.
Yes, ma'am.
So this is a great conversation. Now let's jump into Lea Michele. So I have two updates for you guys about her. And this one, it's like kind of silly, but I want to applaud this brand for like taking charge. HelloFresh is taking a stand by cutting ties with Lea Michele. So yesterday we told you how Samantha Marie Ware, a co-star on Glee, accused Lea of making her time on the Glee set a, quote, living hell. She said that Lea was constantly spewing traumatic microaggressions, like that she'd ish in her wig, which I said this yesterday, but that sounds like an aggression, not a microaggression. But anyway, HelloFresh posted a statement writing, HelloFresh does not condone racism nor discrimination of any kind. We are disheartened and disappointed to learn of the recent claims concerning Lea Michele. We take this very seriously, and we have ended our partnership with Lea Michele effective immediately. So that was some swift, quick action. Well done to HelloFresh. This is how a brand should respond when something like this comes out. At least that's the way I feel. I think that this shows that they really are willing to take a stand. They're willing to lose all of the revenue that she might have generated for their company through her social media posts. So props to you, HelloFresh. And now I want to jump into our next.
I'm very glad, real quick, before we move on, I also want to say that Ariana Grande and Keke Palmer unfollowed her. And deservedly, because they were all on Scream Queens together. Come on now, stop it. Also, real quick, Devyn, before we move on, because I almost forgot, but then thank the Lord we were talking about Lea Michele and I remember. Keke Palmer was out there during the protest, Devyn, and I just feel like, just for a moment, we need to just shine a light on this incredibly well-spoken Black woman that was just up there on the front line speaking to the National Guard, saying that it's not enough, really trying to explain the true situation and the issues at hand. So if you guys have a moment after the show, please check out what Keke Palmer has said. You can probably Google it and it'll come up. It made national coverage yesterday. Please check that out. Shout out to Keke.
Courtney, I'm so glad you mentioned that. I wanted to bring that up too because she is so well spoken, and that video did make its rounds all over the internet. It is so worth watching, you guys. Keke is an unbelievable woman, and
yes.
I think that is incredible. So now let's kind of like flip things back to the person who we don't necessarily agree with at all. Lea Michele. So she actually has apologized, but I have a couple issues with her apology. So after being dragged for those traumatic microaggressions towards her co-stars, she issued a statement to People magazine in which she apologized. The actor says that she does not remember making those specific remarks Samantha Ware mentioned, but that's not really the point. She said, quote, "What matters is that I clearly acted in ways which hurt other people. One of the most important lessons of the last few weeks is that we need to take time to listen and learn about other people's perspectives and any role we've played or anything we can do to help address the injustices that they face. When I tweeted the other day, it was meant to be a show of support for our friends and neighbors and communities of color during this really difficult time, but the responses I received to what I posted have made me also focus specifically on how my own behavior towards fellow cast members was perceived by them." She insists she never judged her fellow actors on the color of their skin, but she admits that her privileged position and perspective caused others to perceive her as insensitive and immature. She says that she feels it was immaturity and her being unnecessarily difficult that caused her to say all of these traumatic things. She said, quote, "I apologize for my behavior and for any pain which I have caused. We all can grow and change, and I've definitely used these past several months to reflect on my own shortcomings. I listen to these criticisms, and I am learning, and while I am very sorry, I will be better in the future from this experience." Here's my issue. At the end, I like what she said at the end, that she's, reflecting on, understands her own shortcomings, and she's like listening to the criticisms, but I don't like that her apology is a lot of like, I'm sorry that they felt I was being insensitive. I'm sorry that they perceived me as being insensitive, instead of just saying, I did things that were kind of shitty and I'm sorry. You know what I mean? It was kind of like I felt like it was like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry that you interpreted what I said as rude. Did you get that, Courtney, or am I just being overly sensitive here?
It felt, I'll say this, it felt very sorry I was a diva and not sorry I was racist. There it is.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I took it, Devyn. Sorry I was a diva like Barbara, but not sorry I was racist. Apology not
Right.
accepted. In my opinion,
Yeah.
in my corner where I solo stand, Lea Michele is canceled. I'm a delete Cannonball right off my phone when the show is over because that's the only song from her I like. The Glee DVD concert, Blu-ray girl, she might gotta go. She might gotta go. Glee is on the streaming services anyway. I don't like it. And the apology made it even worse for me. Lea Michele, you're garbage. Let me go on record and say Darren Criss, you know, Darren Criss is probably like one of my top 3 celeb crushes, Devyn, just to be transparent. Darren Criss, you need to drop her ass today. I do not want to go on Instagram 6 weeks from now and see y'all are talking about one night only cabaret. Lea Michele is singing, not even singing, hollering at the top of her scratchy ass vocals over a piano. I'm not a fan of it. I don't want it. Darren Criss, if you side with her, you're racist too. Sorry, I love you, but like the great Demi Lovato said, sorry, not sorry. They both could go. Goodbye.
Yeah.
No, that wasn't
Yeah.
it, Devyn.
Courtney, you said it best. Of course you did. You always say it best. I agree that the apology is weak. There are points of it that I think were meaningful. I don't really know, but most of it I was just like, why are you apologizing for the way others perceived you instead of just apologizing for your actions and for what you actually did? I don't know. I did not think it was good. Let's move into the final story in our OMT segment. This one's all about Bhad Bhabie. So you all remember the Cash Me Outside girl, Danielle Bregoli. So she has actually decided to check herself into rehab. TMZ broke the news saying sources connected to the rapper sources connected to the rapper revealed that she decided to receive treatment for substance abuse, prescription pills, and childhood trauma. She is currently at an undisclosed location and she'll be there for 30 to 90 days. Her management team said they're very proud of her for recognizing that she needed help and she's seeking it out. I think it takes a lot of introspection and a lot of courage to acknowledge that you have a problem and to go and seek that treatment. So I want to say that I'm proud of her for going out there. I know she's done problematic things in the past. I know that she hasn't always been like actually she's never been a squeaky clean person in the media, but I think she's only 17 and it takes a lot of guts to be able to be like, yeah, you know what? I have a problem. Let me go fix this. So I hope she has a good recovery and she comes out of this better than she was before.
I'm gonna say this, Devyn. When you sitting up there and you are trying to defend your anti-blackness, and your black friend got to sit up there and say, "Girl, what you are saying is inappropriate and incorrect to black people." When your black friend got to check you and you on live in front of all your millions of fans like that, Devyn, that's when you really have to put the phone down and look at yourself in the mirror and go, "Oh, am I off or am I doing something wrong?" I don't believe that it was her decision 100%, and that doesn't matter. You get what I'm saying? I'm glad that whoever it was in her team, whether it was her mother, a manager, a friend, I hope that a friend helped convince her to go into rehab, and I'm glad that she has. And hopefully she can come out. And girl, I can't say for myself if I'll be ready to like receive Danielle Bregoli with open arms because she has said so many awful things, throwing drinks at our good sis Iggy Azalea and all of her Kangaroo Jane moments. But good job. If we can cheer for Scott going to rehab, we can cheer for Miss Danielle Bregoli checking herself into rehab as well.
Yeah, and I'm with you. I mean, I don't know that she'll come out of there and have people be like, "Oh, yay, Danielle," because I know that she has done and said offensive things in the past. But at least with this situation, with her own, issues, she's seeking treatment, and yeah, she probably was encouraged by her team to go. But ultimately, the decision is in her hands, and I think it's good that she did go. So yes, we can cheer for her. Let's get into our one story for celebrity therapy. You guys, if you're part of Bachelor Nation, you may appreciate this one. There's not a lot of celebrity relationship news going on right now, rightfully so. We're talking about way more important things, but I wanted to bring this one up just because So Demi Burnett, who was on Colton Underwood's season of The Bachelor, opened up about the status of her relationship with her boyfriend, Slater Davis, during quarantine. They really had only been dating for about a month or 2 months before they decided to isolate together with his family, which does not sound like a good idea. And she's revealed that they have fought a lot during this time because, quote, we'd only been together like a month before quarantine happened. She said, quote, when you spend that much time with someone and their family, it's like you start nitpicking and you start getting mad over the stupidest stuff and fighting about it. She also said, quote, what I learned from it is the most is that we can resolve our fights, even if I'm annoyed or he's annoyed with me, whatever, and we do get into a little bigger, we can resolve it maturely. And so that's very telling. But she also revealed that, like I said before, she's been staying with her boyfriend and his family, and there have been fights that involved the family. And she'll walk into a room and know that they've been all talking about her, which makes her feel awkward. And she said, I, quote, definitely feel uncomfortable at times, but I'm just trying to get over it. But it's frustrating because it's like, babe, don't involve your family in all this because you know I'm here with you and it's going to be awkward for me and uncomfortable and I don't want that. I agree 100%. That is so awkward. I would hate to be in that
I don't like that. If you allow your partner or your significant other to be like uncomfortable in front of your family, trash, and you gotta go. Yeah. Trash and you got to go. I don't like that. That's not fair because you're in a foreign space, meeting her, and you're staying with his family. Why would you want to be uncomfortable? It's not like she could leave like that. You get a curfew every 3 hours, girl. You can't go nowhere. We go and see Demi on the ground talking about hands up. You get what I'm saying? So I couldn't imagine on top of dealing with all of that in quarantine, now she realizes she really can't leave.
Yeah, so awkward. Ugh, not good. So I kind of feel for Demi in that situation. That is super uncool. Now let's get into Kylie Jenner tea time, you guys.
Kylie Jenner tea time!
So good, so good. Okay.
Hello to everyone in my studio. It's just me.
All right, so let's just jump right into this news about Kim and Kanye. They also are having a little bit of trouble in quarantine. So a source spoke to Us Magazine and said, quote, sometimes they're on different pages. She gets up early and works out, and he's up late. The source also said Kim is working out nonstop and doing her thing. Kanye is having a harder time because he does not have a regimented routine like Kim. The source says that despite everything, the two are doing well. Kanye makes sure Kim has her alone time and space to relax and unwind. She says she feels like she needs some space from Kanye because she's, quote, trying to be a great mom, focus on law school and her work commitments, and it's hard to do all of that without Kanye helping as much as he can. So Kim and Kanye having some trouble in quarantine. You have anything you want to add to that?
Get your tiny violin out, Devyn. Kim has to do what regular women do every single day. Girl, who cares? Girl, Kim, shut up. Girl, mind your business. Girl, Kim, hire a nanny. Girl, Kim, read the law book. Girl, Kim, stop talking to people. Like, what else do we need to say, Devyn? Every time a source comes out and tells us something about Kim's home life, it makes me want to roll my eyes because it is so completely out of touch. They are so wealthy that they are completely comfortable living, being 100% tone deaf and completely out of touch. They truly live in like a mystery land or something like that because it's so entertaining to us to watch from the outside looking in. But once we hear speculation or confirmations from within the walls, it's like, where are y'all living? Do y'all live on planet Earth or are y'all living in Candyland? Someone needs to let me know. Shout out to Kanye, though. Is he working on gospel music? Can we get a hallelujah? Can we get a shout out? What's going on? Is Kim going to feature on the gospel album? Can we get some arias from Kim? Can we get some?
I have no idea what Kanye's been working on. I have no idea. Maybe it was that gospel album. We don't really know. Also, you guys, I just realized I haven't been paying attention to the chat, and Night Runner gave us $2. Thank you so much for that.
Hey, Taylor Hey, Night Runner. We love Night Runner here. Shout out to you.
Yay. Thank you so much, Night Runner. Also, we missed Mika's super chat, so let's do the Mika dance really quickly. Okay, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Miss Mika, nice to meet ya. Miss Mika, she on fleeka. Miss Mika, she loves to tea ya, and we see ya. Miss Mika, go Mika, go Mika, go Mika. Happy Wednesday to Mika. Hey girl.
And then let me just check to make sure. Oh, Mika gave us 2 super chats. Mika, I'm so sorry that we missed you. Now I'm just checking.
I'm gonna keep my screen on a chat.
Yes. Okay. So now I can't scroll up anymore. So, but we at least got the Tillamook Queen and we got Miss Mika. So that's if you gave us a super chat, let us know in the chat right now because we would like to call you out. And I'm sorry that we missed it. Now, let's get into the final story for the day. So, as we talked about on the morning tea, Forbes released that article called like Kylie Jenner and her web of lies and why she's no longer a billionaire. They claimed that Kylie and Chris forged her tax documents, and they made such a huge attempt to get Kylie on that billionaire list and went so far as to invite the Forbes team into their CPA's offices. They gave them like tons of access to all of their documents, which now Forbes is claiming is largely not even accurate. Coty, the company that bought I think it was a 51% stake, or she sold 51% of her company to this group called Coty. They said that her revenue streams were much smaller than indicated when the sale went through. So lots of like crazy stuff happening here. And now Kylie Jenner's billionaire status has basically been revoked. But here's something interesting that's kind of funny that just came out. Us Magazine revealed that Kylie reportedly spent $100 million in the last year alone on a private jet and multi-million-dollar homes, plural. So this news obviously comes just after Forbes relinquished her billionaire status and claimed that she forged all those tax documents. An insider told Page Six that months before the coronavirus pandemic, Kylie purchased a Global Express jet that is estimated to have cost between $50 million and $70 million. The theme is reportedly Carnival of the jet, which like what she does for Stormy's birthday parties. It's always like a carnival theme. So that jet is carnival themed. And it takes $5 million a year simply to maintain and operate that private jet. There's more that I'm going to get into, but your thoughts on this, Courtney, to start?
Kelly just popped up in the chat, and Kelly has a very important question. And Kelly, you and I are right here. Kelly said, "Isn't it a crime to forge tax documents?" Now, Devyn, how Kylie not in jail with Chrissy? How did that work? So, Forbes should have called the man. They could have rubber bulleted Kylie. Why Kylie is not sitting in the cell somewhere?
Here's what I think. I don't think she submitted forged tax documents. I think she showed Forbes forged tax documents. So I think that whatever her tax situation really was probably accurate, but Forbes was seeing an altered version. That's the way I interpreted it because, yeah, she would be in jail. Or I don't know, though. What do you think that that's accurate?
I honestly, truly do not know. Honestly, I feel like it's Forbes' fault. I gotta be honest, Devyn. Like, I feel like at the end of the day, Forbes, you should have been doing your homework. You should have been thorough. You should have taken Chris's word and then hired a private investigator on the back end. You know that there's always some sort of story that comes out with the Jenners. So like, why wouldn't you do extremely thorough homework to make sure that you did not have omelette du fromage on your face like they do right now? Because I feel like Forbes is kind of like, look, Kylie's exposed. But it's really like we're sitting up here like, no, y'all can't count.
Yeah, like we with you. That's what I've been saying this whole time. Forbes is typically considered a reputable source. We're never looking at a Forbes article and being like, I don't believe that. So when they came out and said that Kylie was a billionaire, it was just like an accepted thing to do to take their word for it. So the fact that they didn't do their due diligence and make sure that what they were reporting was accurate says a lot about the magazine as a whole. But also, we have to acknowledge that if Kylie and Chris did forge any documents or did exaggerate the net worth of Kylie and her company, that's also a huge problem that they did, although it's more expected that it would come from them as opposed to a financial magazine like Forbes. So anyway, it's crazy. But yeah, she bought a $50 to $70 million jet that takes $5 million simply to maintain. She also purchased a 36.5. Oh, say something, Courtney. I can tell you want to say something.
I just feel like Kylie, like the Kylie Jenners, they almost, in a way, it feels like those influencers that like are really, really, really good at making us believe that they're rich, and then like it's just like not the full story. I feel like this is like a crack in the story, girl. Now we need to know. Now, if I was Forbes, we would skip over the sisters. What's going on in Rob's bank account? Because I feel like realistically, they should all have, maybe not Rob, but like between the sisters, they should all have perhaps around kind of the same money. Like, why does Kylie get billionaire status that's not real, but none of the other sisters could kind of touch that? Why is that? They all have had businesses. We know why. We know the girls are going to be upset that I hate Courtney, Devyn girl. You know, we have the Kourtney Kardashian fan club now. Of every time I make a criticism of Kourtney Kardashian, they're like, Courtney, you hate Kourtney Kardashian. I said, no, it's my job to be critical of her. That's the job. We know that Kourtney's finances are, but I feel like Kim and Khloe and Kylie, like they don't have similar net worths, and why not?
Yeah. I think that if anyone should have gotten billionaire status, it's probably Kim. You know, I mean, if any of the sisters is going to get it, you'd think it'd be Kim just because she's always been the biggest one. I know Kylie has now worked her way up, and they're all super famous in their own right. But Kim's been doing it the longest. But Kim's been making the money the longest from, you know, the show and from social media and everything. So I don't know. It is kind of interesting. I also want to add that Kylie purchased in the last year a $36.5 million home in an affluent neighborhood in LA, as well as the vacant lot next to her Calabasas house for $15 million. She made other big purchases like that, including a plot of land at the Madison Club Golf Club, and she and Travis purchased a Beverly Hills mansion for just under $13.5 million. So she has been spending a heck of a lot of money for somebody who is no longer a billionaire. I don't know why she needs so many Los Angeles homes. I mean, like getting from the vacant lot in Calabasas to the $36.5 million home in the affluent neighborhood in Holmby Hills over here, that would take her 30 minutes. And then to get to that Beverly Hills house, another 15 minutes. Why do you need so many mansions in Los Angeles? Like, at least spread it out. Get one in New York, get one in
all over.
Yeah, but why do you need so many residences to live in just in LA alone? I don't understand. I don't get it.
To keep people guessing, maybe?
What'd you say?
I said to keep people guessing, maybe. I'm over here laughing at the chat. All one said, don't come for my meow, Courtney, period. And then Wesley said, hashtag what Wesley say? Kourtney Kardashian fan club has only her kids and her mom in it, so it's not a lot of people. Well, shout out to you if you love Kourtney Kardashian. I just see things, and maybe y'all just don't agree because y'all love her as a fan. I'm just not a fan, and that's okay. It's okay for you to be a fan, and it's okay for me to not be a fan. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. There's no problem with that. Yeah. We all like different people. I have a huge crush on Leo, as you guys know, and I don't expect everybody else to feel the same way that I do. So, anyway, you guys, I basically just wanted to fill you in on the fact that Kylie is spending I was about to say a bad word, and I don't want to say a bad word on the T-Show. She is spending a ton of money on houses that are all within 30 miles of each other. So I don't get it. It's very strange. And that jet sounds very expensive and unnecessary. But then again, you know, whatever you want to do with your money, go ahead and do it. It's just bizarre to me. I think it's strange. That's all I got to say.
It's just rich people props, girl. That's what the rich do, girl.
Yep. All right, you guys. Well, that is all the celebrity news that we have for you today. I hope you found this show informative. We, talked a lot about what the different celebrities are doing to show their support for Black Lives Matter and for George Floyd and for the protests. Again, just as a reminder, the conversation around all of that still needs to keep happening. So make sure you're posting informational things, you're talking with your friends and family, donating, protesting, signing petitions, whatever you can do to show your support. Courtney and I both shared that YouTube video that you can watch that has all the revenue streams. You shared it on your story too, right, Courtney?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So you can swipe up on our links in our stories, so you can just put that video on in the background, earn some money for the different organizations. It's a great way to get involved when you don't necessarily have the money to give right now. So there's still ways that you can help out, you guys. Be kind, love each other, stay positive as much as you can, if you can. And that's it, you guys. We're going to share, and we will see you tomorrow. Courtney, anything you want to add before we close out the show?
Thank you so much, you guys, for tuning in today. We hope you had a great time. As always, do all the things that Devyn has mentioned previously, liking, sharing the video so that we can grow the T Tribe, ringing the notification bell so that we pop up on your homepage, and of course, follow myself at Courtney Revolution on social media, on my YouTube channel, and be sure to follow Devyn Howard at Devyn Howard on all of her social media as well. And we'll see you tomorrow for Thick Thursday, 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We'll be seeing ya. Bye. Now, wash your hands, Leo. You better wash your hands. Wash your hands. Wash your hands. Wash your hands, Miss Bam.